We are live here, week 17, championship coverage here, helping you with your start sit decisions. Remember, if I'm going on a hot run, I'm still going to be wrong statistically about 30 to 40% of the time. So make sure you comb through the stats and numbers and just go with your gut. I'm here as a resource to help you out. We already got chats in here, so that's good to see. We're letting the chats load up. We got Strains, Tongs. I'm guessing there's a Kittle. You got Kittle. I'm guessing you got Kittle. Strange, Tongs, Juwan Johnson. Pick two. Strange and Johnson would be the two I'd roll with. Like, I'm not 100% into Tong. I like Juwan Johnson. I like Strange. I think Juwan Johnson's got a nice matchup here. I think that game script, like looking at this for the Saints, you need to see that better. For the Saints game today against Tennessee, I think this is a game script here that could go two ways. That could go nasty in a bad way, or could be good for us. They could light it up. I would go Johnson and Strange with that. Thank you so much for the question, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and that subscribe button. I'll definitely be here next week, and I never leave, so I'll definitely be here next year. I'll be here day after week 18 even with different content. Michael Wilson, Michael Carter, Devonta Smith, Quorum at flex, PPR, championship game on the line. So you need one. You got a nice dichotomy of players. Your safest player is Michael Carter. Like, you're with the running back touches with a good matchup here. I want to see what they got here at flex. I'm letting the chats roll up a little bit. If it gets out of hand, I'll just do it fast. But Michael Carter, they have Michael Wilson ahead of Michael Carter, which I believe Michael Wilson has more upside than Carter. I think Carter's safer. So that makes sense to me right here. My head's in the way. That makes sense to me. And then you got Devonta Smith, who they have below them, right? I look at this Bengals matchup, and I look at Carter as your safer play due to the running back touches and a safe matchup. I also look at Michael Wilson in that matchup with way more upside. And if you need to chase the upside, like if you went against Derrick Henry or something like that, I'd lean more Michael Wilson. If I feel like it's a straight up matchup, like both their lineups are pretty much dead nuts locked with each other in talent, then I'm going to lean more Carter. Or if I feel like I can easily beat him, then I'll lean more Carter. I think it's 50-50 with those two. I'm chasing that matchup. Sampson or Charbonnet. I think both of them are risky gambles. I think both of them are. I want to see where they got Sampson. 40. I think that's low. And they got Charbonnet at 33. I think that's fine. I actually think when I look at Sharb this week at Carolina, I think that's a little better matchup. I think really you're hoping for the score. It's a touchdown gamble, and you're hoping that something breaks loose. And with how Cleveland is working to underneath, especially like how they're trying to get it to the tight end, I think Fannon's got a great matchup. I think there's a chance Sampson goes off. I think there's a good chance for him in this matchup. I lean Charbonnet as your safer play. I think Dylan Sampson has more upside. And I think it might be chasing the upside. I think there's a risk factor with him, but I think I'd rather chase that upside. I think we're going to get targets in this matchup here against Pittsburgh. I think we're going to get the shorts underneath. It's raining a lot right now. So I think I'd chase Sampson for the upside, and that's what I do. Pick two, Hendo, Diggs. Hendo got cleared last night. I was answering questions last night, and then he got cleared. And then I was like, oh, I don't even know where those – because I was like, yeah, it is officially active against the Jets. Hendo, Diggs, more. I'd probably lean Hendo and Diggs. Those would be my two. That'd be the two I'd lean on. Hill, Loveland, or Tongues for all the marbles. It's a toss-up in my head right now between Hill. I think they're great gambles for upside. I think they're great. I feel like my gut right now for the Bears game is either Luther Burden or Loveland goes off. Like one of them comes out and smashes. One of them. I think Hill is a swing for the fence play, but and really you have that with all three. I think I'd lean Loveland if it was my lineup. But out of three, I look at Hill and Loveland. Hill's more of a swing of the fence play for me if I looking at the goal line attempts, hoping that smashes. I think my lineups, I'd be going Loveland. I'm very tight between the two. Dowdle. Let me look at Dowdle real quick for you. Seattle. There's where we're at here with this matchup. Internet's rocking good, guys. Sometimes I go down. Let's see here. What are you looking at? Man, my head's not there. I had a friend die yesterday, and I haven't been right. There we go. Seahawks, the wide receivers, ranked 22nd. What type of wide receivers have been going off against them? Puka went off. Down Drummond, you notice it's like the wide receiver twos have been getting it. That's a DK more in the slot. Puka's gonna Puka. Marvin Harrison. They're not allowing people to go off against them. What are they doing? The running backs. And I know it's not good, but I really want to see the numbers. They're allowing running backs to hit the fairway. I think I'd lean. Most of my lineups would lean Rico, and then I'd look at T-Mac for more of the upside play. Like if Derrick Henry hit on me, I'm going T-Mac for sure. If I'm going up against a lineup that's very solid, I'm going T-Mac. I think most of the time I'd be going Rico. That's how I would play that. That would be my strategy with that. Yeah. What do you have though? Like, how do you feel about your upside? Did I answer a question already? No. All right. How do you feel about your upside going against that? You have Christian McCaffrey, JSN. JSN's got a nice matchup, and you're looking at Josh Allen. Looking at that. Ooh, it died out on me. Looking at that Bills game. Bills always in game scripts that pushes it. See if give you any good feels on Josh Allen. That Eagles game, I look for that game to have good movement. That over-under went up a little bit. They're starting to – that was at like 43, 42 earlier this week. That went up a little bit. So let's see here. What do they got here on – because that movement, we were just looking at it. Where's Seattle at? There it is. They shift these around so much. At the end of the day, I'll get the order memorized, and then it shifts the next day. 42.5 over under. Seattle Panthers. I think you got a chance, though. This Bears game is going to be fun, though. Luther Burden or Devonta Smith in a flash flood game. At Buffalo. Flash flood. Right there. Is that all day? It has to be all day, right? That's going to be I want to see, because all you need is that rain to break open for 2-3 hours and stop for 2-3 hours. 86% chance. Fundamentals goes Devonta Smith. I have a good feeling about Luther Burden this week. There's Buffalo right there. Monday night today. I want to look at this more because a lot of times I'll get rain information from sites, and it'll be off. It'll be off. Like, it won't rain during the game. It just rain before and after. That's what you gotta look at, and it'll just be off. And then heavy rain affects pass flow on average, which my determination for that is if you got a stud quarterback, that it doesn't really affect it that much, just a little bit, but about 6 to 7%. I think fundamentals goes Devonta Smith. I think you're fine if your gut calls for Luther Burden. I need to see what the precipitation is per hour. If there's a lull in that, then I'm going Devonta Smith. But fundamentals go Devonta Smith. Hey, thank you guys so much for the chats, guys. Thank you guys so much. Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't see your question. Oh, it's earlier. Yeah, I'd probably lean. Well, it'd be a shakeup between Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. For me, it's like pulling names out of a hat. Wilson's more the hot hand. I'd probably lean Carter as the save for stability due to what we're seeing, what the Bengals are giving up in the run game here. Like, they're just giving up points. They're just giving it away. Like there has not been a running back that has not did well against them. If he does not do well, it's an outlier. So at least get you to that 11 range on the low, at least probably around there. If you think about it in those terms, like, and that's where I see it very hard for Carter to hit these 20 markers. I see it very hard for him to hit 32 or even 23.6. Like, from what I see from Carter, the lack of explosiveness, like, you're going to have to get multiple touchdowns, which could happen to get to this range, which harder odds than you realize, or harder odds than it is. So 11 to 17 range is probably where you're at. And if you need more than that, I would lean Michael Wilson. That's how I would look at that. Let's see where I was at here, guys. I was here. There's no super. Oh, we got a super chat in. Thank you so much for the super chat. Evans or London? I'd roll Evans. I'd roll Evans. He has Puka J. I'd roll Evans. I feel safer with Evans. That'd be who I roll with. Whenever I go against Evans, he eats me up. I think both of them are great this week. I think both of them have great probabilities. I lean Evans. I want to double check Evans, make sure there's nothing strange that. And then Baker, double check him. That's what I roll with. I make sure that's who I'd roll with. Evans is getting good flow targets. Oh, it's moving too fast. 9 and 12. You got Miami on the road. You got a good game script here. You got a good one. Good game script there. Like, I just don't see him not getting the opportunity in that matchup. Here's another site I like to use to get data. It's called OddsShark, and they have like random tidbits here that I don't even use all of it. So also, this is where I get my weather sometimes. Right here, 79, not much wind. I'd rock Evans. I'd rock Evans there. Thank you so much for the super chat. Double checking to make sure there's no more. Also, guys, if you guys want to help each other out, because I want to work through every single one. Josh Allen versus Brock Purdy. My gut leans Josh Allen, but my head is playing Purdy. So I want to look at this real quick, because when I think about Allen is that matchup, Purdy's safe against the Bears. I think my gut went Allen because it's Josh Allen, and I think it had a bias. I think I'd start Purdy, and why I like Purdy, I don't know where they have him at. They can't have him that low. He's probably at 1, right? No, I don't even know. They got him at 5. I think there's a chance that Philly-Buffalo game could get strange. I think you got a nice matchup against the Bears. The Bears, there's a lot on line with that game, and then the Bears are just good at giving points to wide receivers. They're just good at giving points to wide receivers, but they're also good taking away the football. But if the wide receivers are scoring, he should be doing well. That's what I'd lean. Rams or 49ers kicker. Look, I want to look at the Rams game, Falcons game, 49. Rams or 49ers. I think you're looking at a coin flip between the two because you got two great over-unders, matchups that could push the kickers, like Falcons defense, the Bears defense. I'd lean 49ers. I'd lean 49ers for the game script for that. I'd lean that. I think they're both gambles. I'd probably lean Hill for the upside play. I'd swing for the fence. I think Tongues might be your safer option if you want to play it safe. I think he might be your. I think they're both big time gambles. If you're swinging for the fence, if you need to shoot for 15 plus, I go Hill. If you just need the more likely hit the fairway, I go Tongues. The fairway is 10 to 15. That's how I'd work that. We got a super chat down here. Going to take a look at that. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. You're the man too, man. Thank you guys. You're down 50, championship, full PPR. Lawrence or Brissett? Lawrence or Brissett? Let me double check this Bengals game for you, buddy. First off, at Bengals, I'm not far from there. Weather's not too bad. Weather's kind of warm. You got Cardinals on the road. You also got a good matchup here for Brissett. Trevor on the road. Dart throw game. I want to see what they got right here. I think they got the market hasn't been on the T-Law. Though they are on the T-Law this week. Trevor Lawrence over Brissett. They're both top 10 plays. So it's about shooting that upside, though, and I think they both got it. And the Colts are very good at allowing fantasy points to wide receivers. Trevor Lawrence has the wide receivers. How are they doing the quarterbacks? I believe they're doing well, allowing fantasy points to quarterbacks. I think your easy, safe play with upside is Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Colts are right at league average when it comes to line fantasy points to quarterbacks. Purdy diced them. Trevor Lawrence got you 21.8 last time. As at Jacksonville, this one's inside. I'd go Trevor Lawrence. I think that's your safer bet. I think both of them are great upside plays. Running back Hendo, JT, or Stevenson? Jonathan Taylor, Hendo, and I'd rank them JT, Hendo, Steve-O. And then tight end. I think the Colts do well against tight ends. I think they do well against tight ends. If they don't leak it. They don't leak fantasy points like crazy. Like they're a little bit worse than league average on the season. Kittle went off. Schultz went off. Tight ends that get a lot of – there's a potential for Strange. I think both of them have upside. Strange got 5.7. The wide receivers are going to eat against the Colts. So why would I go to the tight end and take those shorter targets? I would – for full upside, I'd go Hill. I'd swing that. That's where I'd swing the fence at with Hill. And if I whiff, I whiff. That's what I'd do because you're down 50. And Wilson, DJ Moore, Burton, or previously unused running back. Wilson. So it's Wilson versus Hendo. If I'm looking at pure upside, it's between Wilson and Hendo, and it's due to game scripts for Wilson and Hendo just being pure upside player in general. Hendo. So to recap, Lawrence, JT. Well, if you need two running backs, it's JT Hendo or Hendo flex. And then Hill for the swing for the fence play. And then if you did not need those two, then I'd go Wilson. That's how I do it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Moving on down here, seeing what else we got. Moving back up to where we were. Working our way down. Guys, help each other out as I work through all the questions. Flash flood game. Hill Tongs. What's up, Toronto Dave? What's up, buddy? Glad to see you around. Yeah, it's a rough one. I hope the best for his family. Thank you so much, though. JT or Evans? Jonathan Taylor or Mike Evans? my safest play is Jonathan Taylor. I think both of them got a lot of upside. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, he can house it on any given play. I'd probably lean Jonathan Taylor if it was my lineup, but I'm not going to sleep on Evans with that. I think if your gut calls Evans over JT, you're cool. Like, I wouldn't look at you sideways. My gut would go JT for my lineups, and that's probably where I'd roll. Pick 2 and half PPR. T-Mac, Jalen Warren, or you got a lot of rain in Cleveland right now. You got the Browns D, which is, or is it Gainwell? We got a lot of rain in Cleveland right now. It looks like it's going to open up by kickoff. I'd probably go T-Mac, one of the running backs, and I think it's going to be they're not going to allow themselves to get gashed by both of them. And if I had to guess, just knowing Brown's game scripts and how it works with them, and also that defense is softening up over the last couple weeks, either or could get it. If I had to guess, it would be Warren, but it's up in the air due to flash flood game warnings plus snow. It's rough. That's rough because I see that. If your gut calls Luther Burden, I think you're cool. I think you're cool. Parkinson or Taysom Hill? I feel safer with Parkinson. I'm only doing Taysom Hill if I have to swing for the fences. That I did that like the last couple minutes of that video. That's the main premise is like there's a lot of risk but a lot of upside. He's high risk, high reward. And it's been like that his whole career. And usually he goes in batches and then he goes away. So we might be in batches, or maybe since that was his last game at home, that was just how it was going to end for his career, maybe. I don't know. But when I'm thinking about this, Parkinson, more than likely, if I really got to swing for the fence, if I'm down 50 or something like that, I'm going Hill. That's how I'd work that. That would be my strategy. I kind of operate these in strategies with my lineups and see how I'm rolling. We got another. I'm going to answer this and get to the super chat down here. Full PPR, flex, Tracy, Wandell, Money Guy, Burden, one flex, Carter, Washington. I look at this in two different ways, upside versus stability. Carter's probably your safer play for that 10 to 15 range. Like, I think the odds of him busting fully isn't there unless they go another route or do something strange. Something out of character would have to happen because you look at Cincinnati and what they're allowing the running backs. There has not been a running back that hasn't hit at least 10 PPR fantasy points. And I think it's very hard for him to get in this 20-point range. Like, they would have to have him punching in at the goal line multiple times for him to get here. And I think the odds are stacked against that. But to get to like 11 or 13, I think that's well into his range of outcomes when I'm thinking about that. If I need to score 29, 22, 32, I'm looking at another way. And I'd be looking, the bigger odds for me would be Wandell with his matchup or Burden. And I'd lean Wandell safer for that if you're less likely to bust since it's a championship game. Coming down here back to the super chat here that came out. Half PPR, Gainwell or Warren. Also half PPR. I think Gainwell and Warren's Pierce Luther. Also, I think Gainwell, Warren, I think that's a coin flip. I think both of them could hit the fairway in this matchup. I think it's raining and teams want the run on the Browns. And that's where teams have been exploiting them the most, especially these last few weeks. And you've been seeing it. You saw it with Tony Pollard. Like the last 3 weeks, they have been getting gashed on the ground and by running backs. I think both of them are good plays. And I think it's going to be like they have been rough, the running back, since like week 10, actually. Like, they are a run funnel defense. I think both of them are nice, trendy starts. I think both of them are just as a coin flip due to circumstances in game. I think between Gainwell and Warren, because the Browns are giving up and they take out the pass so well. I think Gainwell with DK out has a nice matchup. I think Warren also has a nice matchup. I like them both. If I had to pick between the two, I might be Warren because he's safer. It might be Warren because he's safer. Because he is guaranteed to get double-digit touches a day. Like, wetness on the ground. They can focus on the run a little bit more. I think Gainwell has more upside. The pop one, a little less workload. I think they're both great plays. I think I'd lean Warren because he's safer, but I think it's a 50-50 shot in game. Talking actual football. Half PPR, pick 2. 1 tight end, 1 flex. Okay. When it comes to tight ends here, I think Juwan Johnson's got the upside. I like Henry this week as well. I think you got great options at tight end this week. I think I'm going to lean Juwan Johnson. And then for the upside play for this Jacksonville game, I'm probably going to go Alec Pierce. I think both these wide receivers just has a 50-50 shot at going off. And I'm going to lean the wide receiver that has actually got more of a 50-50 shot in a game script here that could go nuclear for him. I'd go Pierce, Juwan, toss up between Warren and Gainwell, but I think a lot of times I'd be going Warren. I think Gainwell's got a little bit more upside where Warren's a little bit safer. Thank you so much for the super chat. Working our way down the chats here. So the next one. Working our way down. Let's see where I was at. There's the kicker. Boom, boom. Gainwell. Full PPR. Let's see. I answered that. Tracy Wandell. Did that one. Evans or JT. Here we go. I'm starting Kyron in Pat's defense. Who do I pick out of Corum, Parker Washington, or Breece Hall? My gut went to Corum. I think fundamentals go to the Breece Hall. I think I'd probably lean Corum, but I think everybody else is going to say Breece Hall. My gut went to Corum for like Breece Hall 26. He's down there at 26, so it's not like my gut went to Corum. I think Corum's a 50-50 dart throw. I think Breece Hall's in a game script, and the Jets are rough. I don't trust the Jets. Parker, he's got upside to smash. That's the thing about him, but he's also got competition. I'm starting Kyron. You're starting Kyron. With the fact that you're starting Kyron, and the odds are one of your running backs will probably, I'd go Corum Kyron. It's a dichotomy here. Like, he's been hitting, though. And you're looking at Kyron. Like, if I'm looking at, it's more like Corum versus Washington for me. I think Corum is a little safer. I think the odds of him getting to 26 in this matchup aren't there. If I need 20 plus, then Washington, but I feel good about this 10 to 13 range here for Corum and where he's scoring. When I feel like the risk off here, I like Corum over Parker Washington. I do feel like this Falcons matchup, that this 26, that blow-up game, that's going to be hard for him to hit. So if I need that, I go Parker. More often than not, I'm going Corum. I am going Corum over Steve-O now that Hendo's back. Corum over Steve-O. What's up, buddy? Need some help for the ship. Thank you. Hey, you got there, man. I'm going London. He got 8 targets last week. I don't trust the Giants either. They only threw for 33 yards last week. I'm going to go London. One more for you, Michael Carter. I think I'm going to lean Michael Carter. I like the Bengals matchup. If it was me, I'd probably lean Michael Carter for this week. That's what I'd roll. Hey, thank you, buddy. Hey, thank you, buddy. Thank you for the kind words, man. Thank you so much. Tongues, Taysom, Strange. I have Kittle. Can't have any duds right now. If you can't take duds, then I would take out Taysom, and then it'll be between Strange and Tongues. And the last time Strange played the Colts, he had a dud, which doesn't mean he will today. He did. It's even on 6 targets. I think Strange is safer to get to 6 targets. Get you there. I think he's safer for that. But I'd go Tongues. I think you're good with your gut there. I think you're good with that. JT is what I'd roll. I'm not going to sleep on Evans just in case someone wanted that. I went over that once before. Please help. I'm struggling Purdy or Brissett. I feel safer with Purdy. I think Brissett's got a little bit more upside. I'd probably rock Purdy in my lineup. I think that's a great game for him. You need 2. London and Jennings. I'd go London, Jennings. Purdy. That's how I'd rock that. Myers or Wilson. Jacoby Myers or Michael Wilson. Toss up for me. I think both of them have good opportunities to smash this week. I think I'd go Myers. I'd go Brian Thomas Jr. for the upside. I think both of them are risks, so I'm just going to chase the upside. Giants or Saints? Thanks. I think both the Giants and Saints are in weird game scripts where it could go either way, where I think about it. And you can throw in the Giants defense pretty good. I think both of these defenses are, if I'm thinking about takeaways and everything else, I think I'd lean Saints reluctantly. I'm going to check super quick. I think I just got one here. I got 2 down there. Make sure I didn't miss one. Last one was Gainwell and Warren. So here we go. Got 2 super chats down here. Thank you so much. Swift or Hendy? I'd go Swift. That'd be the safest one for me. I know he's going to get touches and workload. I think this game script's going to be back and forth. I'd play it safe. I think Hendo more if I need to go like for the upside play, swing for the fence, which he might blow up. But it's also with Swift there, I feel good with what I'm going to get, especially in PPR, especially in that. That's how I'd work that. And then our next super chat down here. Thank you so much, guys. Ricky B. Fundamentals kind of leads Egbuka, but Egbuka's cold for me right now. So what I think between Kyle Williams and Parker Washington is probably what you're looking at here. I think Parker Washington would probably be the guy I'd start reluctantly. Parker Washington would probably be the guy. I think it's a coin flip between him and Williams. If your gut is saying Williams, then you're good with that. If your gut was saying Williams, you're good with that. Parker Washington's probably the better one when you deep dive it statistically. He's been doing it off and on all year long. You got a matchup that excels well for wide receivers against the Colts. You got high over under. Vegas agrees with that it's going to be high scoring. I think things link up well for Parker Washington. I like Steve-O. Thank you for the super chat first, but I like Steve-O. My gut just went there. It's hard for me to go off Jets, and I think both of these players are in similar situations to where, like, they're both explosive and they need that home run in space. And Steve-O's got the offense that can push it. And outside of that, it's a dice roll. But if I narrow down my odds, it goes to Steve-O with that. No, I got him mixed up with Hendo. I still go with Steve-O due to the offense. But my analysis changed of how I got there due to the offense pushing it to the red zone. My brain flipped. It's been rough for the last 24 hours, dude. But yeah, my analysis to how I got there is different. But Still same situation. I'd probably rock Steve-O due to the touchdowns. Hall's got more upside. If I have to chase the upside, if I'm down, if I got exploded on by Derrick Henry last night, then I'm going Hall. Odds are most people don't, so I'd go Steve-O. That's how I'd work that. That's be my strategy. Got more super chats rolling in. Thank you guys so much. Diggs or Tet McMillan? My safer option is Diggs. Really want to look at this. I don't like the matchup too much. I think it could be a dead matchup. I think there's chances for that. That would be what I'm worried about. I think T-Mac has a matchup that's rough, but who are they going to throw the ball? They got Kyle Williams. They're down a lot of wide receivers. I look for him to get good volume here, and I'm going to chase that volume. I'm going to go Diggs. That's what I would do. That's what I would do with that one. And then you got Hendo and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is in a monsoon with bad weather. I want to look see what OddsShark is saying about the weather, because I believe it's going to rain hard the whole time from what I'm hearing, but I'm not there. And I need to, it's later, 425 game, 425. Let's see what it says on the weather here. Because we just looked it up. It says it's got rain. Where's it at? This is a good site for random data. There it is. Rain. It just says rain. 42 degrees. Participation 100%. Precipitation 100%. Not too much. All right. Your next question would be about the rain is how hard it's going to go. Because if it's just spurts and then hard, but both of them got a lot of upside. The risk increases with the weather. The weather sounds rough. Fundamentals leads A.J. Brown. My gut leans Hendo. Chasing ups. I feel like they just turn into upside plays. And also, I feel like I don't have all the information because I need to know, hourly, if this is going to break up for an hour or so during the game. So that would be my next guess here. Hourly. This is at Eagles. Where we at here? Break this down here. Because that would be my next. And the over-under went up for this game, too. That would be my next guess. Breaking down this game is at Buffalo. Today's hourly. So around 4. Precipitation. You're in good bet for precipitation. It doesn't tell me how high, how hard. Flash flood warning, though. So I Hendo. I think maybe Hendo for the upside. I think they're both good upside plays. I think they turn into 2 50-50 upside bets, which makes me lean Hendo. Mayor Trevor. I think I'm leaning. Thank you so much for the super chat. By the way, thank you so much. Before I lean into this, I'm leaning Trevor. Trevor is less risky, but still have similar upside. When I think about this, what I see here from the market here, they probably got Drake May no matter what, but I like the matchup at Indy. I just like the matchup at Indy for Trevor. I think that's safer. I think there's a chance this matchup here against the Jets, although it could buoy May's production, the Jets could be so bad that the Patriots get up randomly, special teams, defense, or whatever, and he does not have to do anything. He doesn't have to do much and still has a good game, but doesn't score as much fantasy, where there could be some decent back and forth here. You got to throw it on the Colts. They allow a lot of fantasy production to wide receivers. They're on average, they're hitting league average every single week, allowing fantasy points to quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence is hot right now. I'd lean Trevor Lawrence. Both of those two wide receivers are gambles this week. You got competition in that Colts offense. I'd lean Luther Burden for the upside. If I need the upside, I'm definitely going Luther Burden. If I need a chance for 20 plus, I'm going Luther Burden. I think Downs is safer. Not really safer, but it's not safe, but safer for that 10 range. and you need him to score. He gets a lot of short targets. I think personally, if it was me, I'd lean Luther Burden because I feel like there's similar risk with the two, and the upside's probably more with Luther Burden. So I'd go Trevor and Burden. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Let me work my way back up here, and I'll work my way down through all your questions. Let me see where I was at here. Steve O'Quorum. Let's see. Here we go. Please help. I'm struggling. Okay, I did this one already. I went, if I remember right, Purdy and then London Jennings. Here's the next one, Jacoby Myers or Wilson. I went Jacoby Myers on that one. Godwin or Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. for the upside. Michael Carter, Williams, or Ramondre. Michael Carter's your safest bet. Is your safest bet. Kyle Williams, A.D. Mitchell, Kyle Money Guy. 2 of the 3. All 3 of them are upside bets. All 3 of them are. I'd go Kyle Money Guy and one of the wide receivers. A.D. Mitchell's hitting about every other game. Kyle Williams and Kyle Money Guy. Let's double up on Kyle's. Williams, wide receiver. Yeah, Kyle Williams, the wide receiver for the Pats, rookie, drafted 303 this year, I believe. Taysom Hill or Warren? Warren's safer. If I got to swing for the fence, I'm going Taysom Hill, though. If I got to swing for the fence, I'm going Taysom Hill. Warren's got a matchup, though, that you can exploit. Warren's safe from 90% of the time I'm going Warren, 10% of the time I'm going Hill, and that's if I'm down big. Should I start Pitts or Fannin for the ship? I think both of them are great. I'd go. You got Rain and I'm going Fannin. The Steelers leak fantasy points to tight ends, and they hyper target Fannin. I think that's what we're going to look at here. Bucky or Hendo? Bucky's your safer play. That's probably what I put in my lineup. I think Hendo's got more upside, but Carter's a safe bet this week for that 10, 11, 12, 13 range. If you need more than that, usually it's the other play. Start 3, full PPR, T-Mac, Burden. T-Mac, Burden, Williams, all for the upside. Working down here for the super chats. Do we have more? Another super chat came in, guys. Burden or Hendo at flex? I'd rock Hendo. Then Burden. Hendo for sure for me. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. Going to work really extra fast here. Might have to jump in somewhere where I'm at instead of having to find my last spot so I can get through because it's 7 minutes to kick off. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We'll be back next week for week 18 too. Pitts or Fannin, Bucky, Carter's good this week. Thanks, guys. Thank you, James. We answered that one. Down here, Breece Hall or Steve-O? Steve-O's your safer play. Breece Hall, if I'm down from Derrick Henry, mostly Steve-O. Yeah, Josh Jacobs is going to create a lot of dilemmas for a lot of people. Kyle Williams or Luther Burden? I think Luther Burden's got more upside. I think Kyle Williams might be a little safer. I'm going Luther Burden, though, for me. Cam Ward or Geno? I think I go Geno. Tongues. I like Burden this week. My gut's going Burden or Colston Loveland this week. Like one of those two are going on. Like I woke up that way. Yeah, Hill is more of a swing for the fence play, guys. Like if I have my back's against the wall, if I got burnt by Henry, I'm swinging for the fence. Blake Corum or Hill? Corum for me. Like better running back, probably still getting the same amount of goal line looks. DJ Moore or Zacchaeus? Hard one to follow. I would rank them London, Burden, Moore, Zacchaeus. Corum. I like Corum. I think he's safe. I think getting to 20 might be hard. Tet safer. Luther's more of that speculative gamble. I like Luther this week. Tet's safer. I like Burden a lot. If you like him that much, I like Burden and Colston. I think one of them's going to smash. That's what my gut's been feeling like for the last 12 hours. Fannin. I like Fannin this week. Tongues. I like Tongues this week. Started running back into flex. Ramondre. Burden. Burden for sure. Steve, Ramondre, Burden, and then Money Guy. Money Guy. That's how I'd roll. Going back down here, make sure there's no other super chats. All right, coming back. Flex Burden, Sampson, or Taysom. I think it's between Sampson and Burden. I think Burden is more likely for upside. I think Sampson could go off in this game, and I would definitely take him over Taysom. I think it's a good coin flip between the two. Sampson's safer. I think Burden's a smash. I think Hill is a swing for the fence play. Swing for the fence play. I like Corum. Fundamentals go Tet, Burden, Parker. If you need more upside, it's Burden all day. If you need to chase 20 plus points, I'd go Burden. The safer plays maybe Tet. I'd go Burden for if you need 20 plus. Lawrence is what I'd roll with. I'd roll Lawrence over May. I think it's a coin flip between the two. Fundamental says Devonta Smith, but if you're leery and your gut's rolling from the weather, Kyle Williams is fine. I think it might be a 50-50 shot, which means I'm heavily playing that weather. I'd go Joe Burrow against the Cardinals. I think that game script's going to blow up. Walker versus Tet. I'd go Tet. Hendo or Steve-O. Steve-O's for the upside, and I'd probably chase that upside. But Hendo, if you need to hit that 10 to 15 point range, and probably more likely, less likely to bust. That's how I'd look at it and strategize those two. Marv, Igbuka, Waller, Tongues. I'd rank them Marv than Tongues. I'd probably chase Marv due to the upside of that matchup. Pierce or Washington Pittman. Toss up between Pittman and Pierce. I'd probably lean Pierce for the upside. Pittman's your safer play, but it's really in game. Check and see where I'm at here. I am somewhere down here. Luther Burden. I think I go Luther Burden for the upside. Good coin flip. I think I feel safer with Blake Corum. I think Dylan Sampson, if I got to shoot for that home run, if my back's against the wall. More of not Blake Corum, but Dylan Sampson, if I got bit by Derrick Henry for sure. I like Luther Burden a lot. I think the chat's in on Luther Burden. I think him or Colston Loveland's going to have a good game. I like them both, but I think one of them's going to smash hard. Should I start Alec Pierce? Alec Pierce for the upside. I'd go Myers. I feel a little safer with Myers, but it's a flip between the two, but that's what my gut's. If you need pure upside, pure gamble upside, Burden, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. also has in the matchup. If you need stability, if you mean points with stability, like 10, 11, 12 range, Marvin Harrison Jr., I think Burden's your great upside play. Tongues for me. Burrow, QB, CMC, Hampton. RB Puka. Tight ends, Tongues over Strange. Michael Carter's your safest play of the three. T-Max more your upside gamble if he brings in the deep ball. That's how I would look at that. How about kickers? We can rock some kickers. Lay them down. We'll help you guys out. Burden or Washington? I'm setting Tet. If you're setting Tet, McMillan, Burden's my pure upside gamble. That's probably the player I'm looking at. A lot of people in the chat's looking at as well. Washington might be a little bit safer. due to the matchup. It's going to leak fantasy points to one of those wide receivers for the Jaguars. Don't know which one. Burden might go off this game. Burden for me for the upside. I think Tracy might be a little safer. I think if you're looking for security, Tracy, like 10, 11, 12 range, I think Burden's got the upside. I'd chase that. My lineup would go Burden, but if you really need to play it safe, then Tracy's more logical for that. But I think both of them upside gambles. I think I might go Burden then. Corum's your safer play. Sampson's more of the upside gamble. I would not be surprised if Sampson outscores Corum this week. I think Corum's great for 10, 11, 12, 13. If you need more than that, go Sampson. I think the odds of both busting completely is going to be hard for them. Kyle Money Guy or Brian Thomas Jr.? My gut went Money Guy. I like Blake Corum. I think Blake Corum's safe for the fairway. I'd go Patriots. I'd go Patriots versus the Jets. Burden for me. I think Burden. Fundamentals lean Devonta Smith every other week, but now we have this weather here that could be hurting this. If you want to keep leaning that, that's fine. I think for guts leaning Burden, I think the upside's all right for that, considering both of them. I mean, Devonta Smith's a gamble now. He's just a gamble. So Burden's fine. Bruce Juice Crew, baby. We're here. Thank you guys so much. Wilson or Pittman? Pittman for me. Carter's your safe play. I see it hard for him hitting 20 plus PPR fantasy points. Burden's your upside play. That's how I look at that. I think a lot of times I'm starting Burden, but I think I'd go Carter if I just need to hit the fairway of 10 to 15 or so points. If I need more than that, I'm going Burden. Wandale or DJ Moore, Bucky or Walker? I'd go Wandale for his matchup, and then I'd go Bucky. Warren or Hill? Warren all day for that matchup against Jaguars. Warren all day for that matchup against Jaguars. I think that Waller for me between those two. Hey, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'll be back all week, and I'm not going to leave. So next year, I'll definitely be here with the live streams to help you guys out. Corum or Mayer? Corum is your safer bet. Mayer's more for upside. Mayer did splash earlier this year. Like he did. I'm always going to lean the running back over the tight end. That does not mean it's always going to be correct. Like he did splash. What was that against Tennessee? That was against Tennessee when Bowers was out. He did have a game where he went off. You also got a matchup here against the Giants where that could happen. Like if I need more upside 20 plus, I'm going Mayer, but more likely than not for most of my lineups, I'm going Corum. I don't know what that means. Swift or Jennings? I feel safer with Swift. I think Jennings got more upside. Probably Swift for me, though. Yeah, Swift. All right, looks like it's past 1 o'clock. Game should be kicking off. I got through the chats. Thank you guys for a great season. If your season's done right now, I will definitely be having Week 18 content, which is huge for a lot of people because a lot of people have their championship games Week 17 and 18 or just at 18. A lot of people are switching over to Week 16 because Week 17 has gotten crazy for people, and with all the instabilities there, they don't like that. But I'm not leaving. I'll be back next year. Hit that subscribe button right now. Just tap that right now so you don't miss that. And I'll be here with live streams. I'll probably do more next year. I had a Saturday night live stream that went really well. I did not realize you guys are up so late. I'll probably be back with more live streams next year. I'll definitely have the same amount. But good luck to everybody. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on any of that. I'll have waiver wire content tonight. We'll be making fun of the Cleveland Browns like we always do. And then starting January, high school football recruiting. Like going deep on that. That's how I know these players inside and out. We cover them from high school. And then also NFL drafts, Dynasty Fantasy Football rookie drafts. That stuff's going to keep rolling throughout January, February, March. And then starting May, if you're interested in your team, I will have rookie camp coverage, the practice clips, what I'm hearing from your beat writers, everything else. So say you're a Bengals fan, you want to know about your rookie wide receiver they drafted or whatever, I will have their clips. May in rookie camp, OTAs, mini camp, training camp, and it'll be every day. And if they're rocking clips every day, I will have them out for you, talking ball on your players. And if you got a hot player, then you're going to get a lot of videos every single day on that player during camp. So you may want to hit that button now. But thank you guys for a great season. I will be back tonight with more content for week 18. Thank you guys so much.